Imagine a future in singularity, where everyone and everything is connected to the grid. Singularity is the hypothetical future point at which machines and human intelligence would merge. What does this mean for craft? All the existing knowledge would be processed and uploaded to the grid to become a singular entity. Moving towards a hyperglobal approach, a SWOT analysis showed the threats to be loss of heritage and context, and even existing stories and symbolism. However, the open source approach can promote widespread collaboration, bring about a faster pace of production, and create new income possibilities. How does it work? Craft professional decides to share his knowledge. Designers help to simplify the process to the extent of DIY. Anyone in the world should be able to work with the kit of parts without possessing high skill levels. Here, machines and digital fabrication comes into play. Monetizing the same. Open source simply means freedom to study, copy, and/or modify the core. It does not mean free in terms of price or money. The craft professional can set an IP price for his knowledge, the designer sets the manufacturing price, and the end product creator sets an innovation price. When someone buys the final product, everyone in between benefits. Integrating this concept in an interior architectural design, we have the Craft Lab. Here, a typical user would work with a predefined kit of parts, for example, like a cake mix for craft. With experience, the user would need more control and would want to tweak the recipe or the craft process. The entire time, you will get support and guidance from the craft people in the industry. The list of possible outcomes for the Craft Lab are endless and limited only to one's imagination. From wallpaper apps to block printing on bioplastic, the explorations are endless. Here we have the first look at Craft Lab at Sanskar Kendra. Let's see it in more detail. This is the first core model. On the left, you have the vehicle entry from the road. Moving anti-clockwise, you can see a floor maze with varying levels that warms you up for the process of creation. The vertical panels also act as playful pegboards to pin up your ideas. Further above is the main entrance that leads to the ideate and create zone for people to sit and work. Attached to that is the wood and metal workshops, which connect to the digital fabric. The workshops are placed close to the back-end material storage unit. This room is completely automated as human creativity is not needed in the space. Drones deliver the material and people can get robots inside to give them the material by entering details in digital kiosks placed at the entrance. Next to this, we have the cloud room, which helps in documentation of work and acts as a digital library. Now in the center of all this exploration, we have the clay calm breakout zone, a peaceful space for you to meditate by working with clay. This is just to relax, not to create products. Now for some key features, the Ideate and Create space has furniture with varying heights that allow people to sit in different postures while working. The workshop allows quick production and eliminates time-consuming steps of traditional craft production. The cloud is a space for paying forward. Wall-to-floor spanning screens and adjustable lighting fixtures allow you to document and retrieve the details later in screens that then act as a digital library. You can order your materials at the online store and drones will deliver it to the craft lab just in time for you to start working. The modular structures allow the user to add more units for testing the creation, drying, display, and more. Now let's find out how to customize the craft lab to adapt to your apartment, nearby mall, school, or any space. Basic set gives you the details of all the furniture of the Ideate and Create space. Advanced includes the workshops that give greater control to users, and Enterprise is complete with the cloud, online store, digital library, and more. Some blueprints of the space-making elements of the craft lab. First, we have the inverse inlay, a process to increase DIY-ness of the inlay craft. The traditional process involves selective removal of a base material into which cut pieces of natural stones are inlaid with an adhesive. In inverse inlay, the inlay pieces are arranged first to make a geometric pattern, and then resin as a base material is poured on top to set the pieces in place. This gives greater control in pattern making and also allows one to experiment with transparency. This is not commonly seen in traditional inlay. Patterns were developed from traditional marble inlay of Agra Here we have a prototype with a semi-transparent base and which has inlaid solid opaque pieces of acrylic. In the craft lab, this becomes the partitioning walls of the clay calm space. These panels fit into a metal framework. Alternate processes include CNC cutting thick acrylic pieces and inlaying resin itself, or inlaying laser cut acrylic pieces and using resin just as an adhesive. Pros of this process are faster production, less wastage, experienced craftsmanship not required, and more. Cons include knowledge of digital fabrication methods, tools and its limitation, and also resin pouring takes a few practices to master. Here we have the drawings for the ideate and create seating units. They are made of metal pipes and bamboo. The tables are cast in terrazzo. The flow maze modules have waterproof MDF pegboards fit into metal brackets. The next craft exploration is symbolic joinery. Traditional bamboo joinery, although functional, limits symbolism. Traditional wood carving, on the other hand, embraces the same. Combining the two, we have 3D printed joinery with symbolic patterns of wood carving and which is easy to manufacture. This allows for branding, narration of news stories through the joinery, and so on. However, the con is that the traditional aesthetic of the joinery itself is lost. Circuit inlay is the other craft exploration. Here the inlaid copper strips are made to function as circuits as well. This is to be used in the cloud room. The exposed copper strips form an aesthetic pattern and also allow the user to fit and remove light fixtures anywhere on the path. This is a small prototype. Here the light includes battery in one unit as well as the LED, and the circuit is completed by the copper inlay. Further, one can predetermine the placement of the LEDs and incorporate that in the pattern itself. The use of this is to make aesthetically pleasing, paper-thin circuits. However, insulation is a con, and a way forward is to collaborate with electrical engineers to further develop this craft. All that you have seen so far are what makes the craft lab. Finally, we can now explore some examples of what people can create in the craft lab. The first sub-project is a Kalamkari wallpaper app. This is a plugin of curated brushes and tools developed in collaboration with Kalamkari artisans. You can install them in Photoshop, Procreate, or any software you prefer. In the bundle, you also get a defined color palette and motifs, and also weekly updated tutorial on how to use the app. A wallpaper of your own design is only a print away. Another sub-project I tried was to cook my own bioplastic and make a terrazzo unit. This is also a natural prototype. And last, the 3D printed tanjore tile. A 3D pen created the embossing effect on this. As you can see, the possibilities of the craft lab are endless, and an open source approach to craft is the way of the future. Thank you.